Right, it's the 15/10/2016 concerning media and media, that's industry of IT equipment, TV, PC, phones, stuff like that. I'm very happy about the internet. I think it gives a more, you could say, free world of communication and showing each other interesting things and stuff. But we still have the old player with state finance, TV, film, press, and media. And it actually seems, as I'm in Europe, that the press altogether, it's just not one company, as in the United States, kept their money on Mrs. Clinton and dumped Trump. And they did that because they were, used to Clinton's administration, and many of them were linked into relations in the administration. We also have the same in Sanders' case. We also have in my case, and that's a little unusually maybe, because normally a diplomat would be protected by police and media in respect for the very heavy work we do, right? In this case, relation close to me of traffic and industrial espionage in TV, film, music, ballet, books, world, magazines, horse sport, racing, and so on, did a huge industrial espionage, theft, robbery, corruption, use of illegal obtained data, stolen script, stolen letters, and so on. In the media, people often think the media is probably something they are true. If you see a picture of a happy marriage, Prince William and her getting married, you think that's the media coverage, right? We now know that sometimes the media uses specific pictures where the person maybe has just been, I don't know, having just woke up, for example, and looks a bit tired, and maybe, and therefore most people could think of those pictures as being sad, for example, right? I can also see the pictures of Junior Kennedy's wife is often pictures taken where she don't want to be near the photographs, right? And that image from, if you choose in pictures selective where people look sad or angry or something, then you kind of get a character in the public of that person as sad, angry or something, right? And if I look about the manipulation in the media, often I've been exposed to months-long exposure of pictures, for example, of a child belonging to an actress or a model. That looks a bit like my child missing from 2012, right? Or I get exposed to pictures that almost look like a split up from someone, right? So in a way, if you are sitting here with the losses in the media business, naively thinking that this months-long kind of manipulation things is the truth. It's not, right? But the media has a powerful position in the media psychology, which is used in TV, film, press, and so on. They're able to start wars if they want to. They're able to say we don't like Muslims in ex-Yugoslavia, the conflict in ex-Yugoslavia, right? And we know from Italy that some big players, as Berlusconi, actually could kind of freeze the media picture into what he wanted it to be, right? We know that the media from past was, a telegraph kind of thing that informed us that there's been a hard winter in New York or something. Today, it's more like a blood hunt. The one day they don't like the Muslims, and the next day when there's tragic war, then they maybe see some casualties, and then they're on their side. They are not longer, you could say, owned by people that has one opinion that you are aware of. Let me see. If I get a red paper, they will write something about capital is, extortion of people, slavery is not right. Maybe if you're naive, you would think that, right? Because communism is slavery. But if you say like in the media picture, it is seem to be, they think that journalism, that if they find something very strange or very bloody, for example, dead something, right? They think that that's the way a newspaper is supposed to run, about criticizing, about negative stories, about bloodshed pictures and stuff like that. They think the more they can get of that, you're better. The more readers they get. They just kind of forget that the most of the, for example, Danish press is state-owned, right? They get their money from the state, not from readers. And I'm actually very, very happy about reading newspapers and looking at media. I love news, right? But the news in this country, I wouldn't pay for it. I would probably pay for CNN or RT or something like that, some serious stuff, long articles, interesting views and stuff, and not too much opinion. I don't need to know what the Denmark's radio think about themselves. There's often in Denmark's radio programs where journalists discuss Denmark's radio and the media picture. What is that for? I mean, I don't need to know that their business is having a difficult time and they're, you know. So actually, I think that the media it seems right now that they're childish, unresponsible for what really goes on. We have a poverty, poor people that nobody even don't talk to. We have job losses in Europe that might end up in some kind of conflict, right? We have mafia in Europe that nobody talks about, right? And all they do is finding stupid pictures on the internet and try and make sense of that. And also we can see in the more written papers, Politiken, Kristi Dagblad, Information, Denmark's Radio is supposedly to be intellectual academic newspaper. They have also moved some kind of opinion, kind of, we don't like those, we don't like them, and we think you should do like this, like a kind of like old school teaching role. And I don't need that. I mean, we are grown up people reading the newspaper. I don't need to know what the journalist might think about a person who don't have work. I mean, all I know is there's no work in Europe right now, right? That's a fact. And I don't like this state influence that it's a kind of governance, that it's a kind of, if you don't get a job, it's probably your problem. No, actually, it's the leadership of this government that can't get the contract back here, you know. And actually, the leadership seem to be a little bit corrupted from my point of view, right? So actually, the media is trying to get a kind of conflict they can write about the next day. So if they can kind of manipulate that you would think that your woman might have an affair, so they can write about it next day that the man is after the woman because he thinks she had an affair or whatever. The same in the political game. I don't think that all politicians they screw around. I really don't think that, right? But on the other hand, I also know that some political people gain their power from stepping on others. In case of Clinton's, right? And I think that it looks like the media is turning always where the money is. Like the one day Muslim is a dangerous thing, and then there is some frustrated workless Muslim who's been stepped on by media and everybody who gets angry, right? Is that so strange, right? So I actually think the media should try and, you could say, hold their horses a little bit and get serious. I don't need some kind of disgusting, blood-sucking picture of, animals, children, women, or something where the journalist steps on it. I need some serious journalism. you know, like the CNN, like the ABC, like the, like the RT. When will the day be when newspaper is something you can learn something from? Hmm?